Page 40, Dangerous Journey. They call this a recital piece. You have to work up something for a recital, a piano recital to play for people, whatever. This is a kind of a piece. This is a piece that will push you. Technically, it's not beyond your scope of playing. It just means you have to work a little longer to get this. I want to talk about a few things, starting with the right hand. Look at the beginning of this. Staccato and then an accented half notes. You're here, and it's loud. The half note gets a little more oomph than the staccato, of course. And then for the last two measures, watch the fingering. The last measure is a 4. That's an important fingering, and it's all over the place. So get it. I'm just shifting my weight from finger to finger. And I can do this too. Whatever the wrist does, it just does. I don't make it happen. I'm exaggerating it in this video, but otherwise it isn't. Second line is the same as the first. Let's go to the third line. This is different. 5. And this is a rotating. Ba-da-da-da. And the staccato. The last two measures, it's the same idea as the first two, just different notes. Going on to the next line, same idea, different notes. Next. See a lot of repetition here. Last measure of page 40. I'm rotating. I'm not holding still and doing that. I'm rotating here. Going on. Then it goes back to what it did on page 40. And that's wonderful. Let's go down to the third line on page 41. The last measure. You're here. Watch the fingering. It's 1, 5, 4. We're going to work our way down the keyboard, and this is the way we can do it. A couple fingerings here. I'm just going to use their fingering, it's fine. So again. Again. I want to talk about this bit, these three measures, starting with the last measure of the fourth line on page 41, and the first two measures of the last line. The first note, you see with the stem going down, they put in an LH. That's nice. It's unnecessary. You're going to do it because there's nothing in the bottom staff. What's the left hand doing? Well, it's going to play the notes with the stems going down. So it's going to do here. And they're saying second finger on each of these. Let's take these notes one at a time. You have an A, an E. This is the left hand. A C, and an A, and an E, and a C. You see a pattern here? It's a chord. It's an A minor chord. Not neat? Show you a couple of things here. I don't want to confuse you. I just want you to be aware there's different people might do this differently. And you can play with it too and see what you think. You figure it like they're doing. It's very showy. Hard because it goes, this piece moves, and you got to be very exact. Well, the right hand's moving too, so it's like what I typically do when I get these, I forget show. I'm not interested in that. I want accuracy, and what I do is if I finger these notes like a chord, as though they were a legato, it's easier for me to play them. So I'm going to pretend they're all half notes, and I'm going to connect them. So it's here. I'm going to play thumb, 2, 4, 1, 2, 4, 5. The 5 is a half note at the end. It's just an arpeggio going down, or a broken chord going down, and that's the fingering for it. So when I get this kind of thing in a music, I typically, because Because to me, this is sure and safer, especially if I get nervous. I can hit the right notes, and I don't have to think so much about the left hand, because the left hand's just doing its chord thing. I can focus more on the right hand. So I would encourage you to work on that. It will come in handy in a lot of pieces. But if you want to stay showy, yeah, you go right ahead. Now, on the right hand on this, you're using 1, 3, 5 through these, and it's just, again, 1, 2, 5 on some of them actually. It's 1, 3, 5, 1, 3, 5, 1, 2, 5, none. And that's fine. There's other ways of fingering this. Well, let's just leave this fingering is fine. So to do finger these the way they're doing is here. It's okay, but what I suggested was this fingering. It's a little awkward because you have to coordinate the hands, you're using different fingers. Their fingering is a little easier in the sense you're using the same fingers all the time. And you can get that, but I still encourage you to work on this other. Because it will help you out later on. Otherwise, just forget I've said anything, do anything. Then you have the chords, the last few measures at the bottom of page 41. You have here, and then a here. Remember the treble clefs there? Here, and then come to here, because then the bass clef is back in the bottom. Go ahead and finger these legato if you can. Can't finger this to here legato. Pedal will connect it for you. You have to practice that move because both hands are moving. So you may have to work that hand out. And the left hand, starting back over on page 40, we have here just it's staccato quarter notes. It goes with what the right hand is doing. And then you have these. You can think about this fingering, the last measure of the first line. They're saying a 5, 3, 1, 2, 1. It's okay. But you can also try a 5, 4, 1, and a 3, 2. Might help too, and for some people. Everywhere this happens, you can do it the same way. It's up to you. Over on page 41, third line down, starting in the third measure where the left hand has these chords. Just figure out what the chords are. If you're not sure, spell out the chord. In other words, take it one note at a time, starting with the bottom note, and figure them out. The first chord, first note, the bottom note is an F. The next note is an A. And then top note is a B. And you work out all these chords that way. Dynamic-wise, the dynamics are really important, and they're going to make it. You're loud for the first couple of measures, and then you're kind of a medium soft, and that's the right hand. So the left hand has to be really soft. Second line, same thing, loud. Kind of a medium soft. There's an accent on the last one. Don't know why, but there is. To me, that's very unmusical. You don't finish off a statement like that and accent the last note. Ooh, I don't like that at all, but they said to do it, so okay, we're doing it. Third line, now this is soft. This is soft, even softer than you were doing. The left hand has a quarter note and then a staccato and then an accent, so it's. Well, the right hand has staccatos on the two quarter notes. Good luck figuring that out. Second measure. The a little louder. What you can do, I don't think anybody will mind if it's confusing you, is in the left hand, go ahead and play both of those quarter notes staccato. Third line. Fourth line, now you're loud. See, you're just gradually getting louder. It's like they built in a crescendo for you. Now, you have a crescendo, the last measure of page 40, going into the first measure of page 41. You see that crescendo going into a sforzando, which is like a boom. So I suggest at the beginning of the last measure of page 40, you bring it down to a kind of a medium soft, maybe medium loud, to give you more room to grow. So to do the last line on page 40, it's that. Where you're headed. I'm going up to here, and then you're loud. It's like it was on the other page. Third line down. You're starting out, first couple of measures are medium soft. I got that accent that I don't like again. Now you're loud on these. Right hand, not left hand. Keep the left hand down. These chords can easily overpower the right hand, so be careful. Then soft, it's like an echo. Now it's very loud. On the showy part they want you to do, it's here. Don't rush this. It's 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2, and so keep it in rhythm. The tendency would be to rush it, and that would ruin it. It really would. Keep these steady and even. And then at the end, it ends loud. It's all loud. You can put in accents to reinforce the loudness, and that's what it is. There's no fermata at the end, so you're going to hold that note 4 counts and then lift up the pedal and everything. Let's talk about the pedal. There's not a lot in it, but let's talk about what's there. At the beginning of this, on this first couple of measures on this musical motif, 2 things. One is when you push the pedal down on this loud chord, you're releasing all the dampers on the strings, which just let all the other vibrations that want to go crazy. So it makes this sound like that. There's a difference between this without pedal and this with pedal. See, there's a big difference in the sound, and that's what they're after here. And they're going to keep it down and connect this with that next note in the next measure. So there's no silence in there. So those first couple of measures. And this happens this way each time this appears. It's the same idea. Now, let's go over to top page 41. Second, third measure, where we're loud, we want to just connect all these E's. We're here. And connect it to the next note, the A. Now that takes us down to the bottom, the very last, where it's just legato pedal on these chords. Here. Play the notes and then lift up and change the pedal is what it's called. And that's it. And then at the end, the pedal and the hands all come up together. And that's that. The beginning of this, they're saying allegro molto. Allegro means fast, molto means a bunch. So it means a bunch of fast, I guess. They give you the metronome markings, and you can experiment with that because they're getting more into the vivace range here. And it's up to you on how fast you're going to play it. You have to play it controlled. You got to play the right notes, and the rhythm and everything's got to be there. So don't go beyond that as far as speed. I like to check the notes and the rhythms with you, so we're going to go really super slow. They'll give us 4 counts. It's a 4/4 time. Go ahead and put your hands where they go. Left hand, right hand. Foot's on the pedal. 1, 2, ready, go. 3, 4, off. I'll give you an idea what I think this might sound like. I hesitate doing this because I don't want you copying me. It's up to you how you interpret it, and different people will play it a little differently, but I might play it something like this.